Good morning. I'm Lena Smith, and I'm one of the grant managers for NRCC. Today, I'll be talking about the NRCC DEC Enhancement Project Development Block Grant. My goal is to give you an overview of the grant, answer any questions you might have, and give you the resources you'll need to apply. If you have any questions as I go along, please speak up. This grant is funded by the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation Clean Water Initiative Program. NRCC has $75,000 available for project development work. There's no limit on the amount you can apply for. Award amounts will depend somewhat on how many applications we receive. For those of you familiar with block grants, project development grants and design and implementation grants have been separate in the past. Now DEC has combined those two grants into the Enhanced Development, Design, and Implementation Block Grant with the acronym of EDDIBG. Even though DEC merged the two grants together, today we are talking about just the project development portion of the grant, or the EPDG. We're planning a round of the design and implementation portion of this grant in September. The governing document for this grant is the 2023 Clean Water Funding Policy, and all the work you do in the Enhancement Project Development Grant must meet the policy guidelines. The funding policy states that at the highest level, your project must meet one of these four objectives that are listed here. The older grants used to be about nutrient and sediment reduction, so this has opened up what types of projects could be eligible. Given how broad these objectives are, most projects meet this criteria. The more detailed criteria for this particular grant is what I'll focus on this morning. And I just want to preface this with noting that project development work may not always result in projects moving forward. As you investigate a potential project, you may find that it does not meet one or more of the criteria I'll be talking about today, or other challenges may present themselves that will not make it viable to move forward. There are four criteria that must be met in order for your scope of work to be eligible for this funding source. The project must meet the project development definition. I won't read this today, but it is in the RFA, and all the work has to fit in this definition. The second criteria is that projects must be non-regulatory. Regulatory projects are those compelled by water quality-related programs. And number three, projects must meet at least one of the statutorily defined purposes noted here. Protect high-quality waters, maintain or improve water quality, restore degraded or stressed waters, create resilient watersheds and communities, or support the public's use and enjoyment of the state's waters. These eligibility criteria are specific to the enhancement grants, and each has further definitions that are in the RFA. And the fourth criteria is that you must have a watershed database identification number. You are probably familiar with the WPID number for individual projects, but this is a number you will apply for that represents the suite of project development work you'll be doing. Your application can include many project types of work, but this number will represent all the work you'll be doing under the grant you receive from NRCC. As an example, let's say you are looking for lakeshore projects and also want to investigate 2 to 3 possible buffer plantings as well. Although these are different project types, they will fall under the same WPID number because they are part of the suite of projects you wish to investigate. DEC is asking that you fill out the new project N form, and you'll find directions in the RFA on this process that are specific to project development WPIDs. It takes about 2 weeks for the basin planners to issue a WPID number, so you should apply for it right away. We will need to have this number in order to fund the work, so please submit the N form before submitting the application. These are the eligible project types, and full definitions are in the project's types tables, that is located on the VACD website. There are two categories of project development work. General project scoping is to identify projects for development and is meant to be a small portion of the project development activities. Specific project development to gather the information and commitments needed to determine project feasibility and readiness to proceed on to design or implementation. Most project development work occurs prior to 30% design. However, some projects may already have 30% or 100% designs and may need further development activities to move the project forward. General project scoping activities include reviewing the watershed projects database or existing plans or tools such as stormwater plans, flow restoration plans, phosphorus control plans, etc. Discussing potential projects with tactical basin planners to gauge priority. Respond as needed to landowner water quality questions and concerns, and conduct landowner site visits to develop strategies for river restoration and protection opportunities that may turn into a project for development. Follow up regularly with potential project landowners to gauge interest. Educate and communicate with new municipal staff or town committee members on existing river corridor or stormwater master plans to gauge interest in selecting and pursuing top priority projects. Specific project scoping activities include work with DE staff to refine project scope to ensure proposed project is the preferred cost-effective project best management practice solution for a given water quality concern. Identify and contact the appropriate landowner to secure landowner support, or identify and contact the operation and maintenance responsible party and secure their support. Work with partners or available online tools to estimate potential water quality pollution benefits and project costs. Review potential natural and cultural resource concerns and permit needs for the projects. Contact any other relevant stakeholders to review potential project barriers. Meet with town staff and select board to encourage implementation of specific high priority projects from a sector-based assessment and discuss potential grant funding. Or develop very basic project concept drawings or preliminary designs for the purposes of communicating with stakeholders and landowners and securing support. Ineligible activities through this grant. Project development is not assessment and planning work. Project development is not design work. Project development funds may support tasks between design phases, but not within or during a design phase. Some limited concept drawings or designs are allowable if they are needed to determine project viability or secure landowner support, but cannot result in the completion of 30% or more designs. Project development is not any activity otherwise supported through active work plans under the tactical basin planning. And project development is not general, untargeted outreach or education. The required deliverables for this will be the project development findings report. This report can be found on the grants page of the VACD website. Reviewing this report will be helpful for you to understand the type of information that will be required to complete project reporting, and I recommend that you do that before applying. The final performance report is required, and project eligibility screening forms for all developed child projects deemed feasible and ready to proceed. If your project is in the Champlain or Memphremagog basins and has particularly high phosphorus reduction numbers, it is likely the project will fit better in the water quality restoration formula grants. Priority will go to the projects outside of the Champlain or Memphremagog basins. An NRCC application will screen any potential projects that could be a better fit for formula funding. DEC has awarded the enhancement grant funds to 3 entities: NRCC, Watersheds United Vermont, and Mount Escutney Regional Commission. The funding requirements are the same for all entities, though the application and grant administration process may vary somewhat. While we encourage NRCDs to apply to NRCC, watershed groups apply to WUV, and municipalities to MARC, all eligible entities can apply through any enhancement grant holder. NRCC, WUV, and MARC will coordinate on project applications as needed. So the important date to remember is that the application is due September 13th. Award announcements will be October 4th, and all projects must be completed by January 31st. Please reach out to me if you have any additional questions, and I hope to see your applications. Thank you.